There's not a cloud up in the sky. Mighty walk. I can't be late for my own show. Blasting off for Mars. Goodbye to the world that was, a new world that's still sublime, our world till the end of time.
Well, welcome to the show. This is Future Shock. We're recovering from hurricane coverage of Hurricane Milton because, of course, you know, we do weather for various stations from this Ocean 7 studio for Weather Vision, which is our other project, and we do weather for stations in Florida too. So we were covering Gainesville, Florida from this location through the last few days. And finally, the storm has passed, it's pushed out to sea, and so we can kind of relax for today, a little bit more than we had the last few days. Anyway, welcome to the show. We've got a couple of interesting clips. We've got, now have you heard about Mo Gaudat? He is one of the pioneer architects of AI, and he worked with Google DeepMind and others in that field over these last 10, 12 years, developing everything that we're seeing coming to fruition now. Now he's no longer there at Google. I think it was DeepMind that he was involved with, but he's now I guess you would call him an entrepreneur, and he's out on his own. But I think more than anything, he's the type of person that people are going to. You know, they're seeking his counsel on what is this all about, what's going to happen next. And so that's the role he's sort of taken. I guess he's taken the role of a senior ambassador to try to, to let everybody know what to expect with AI coming forward as this thing develops further. So we've got a little bit from Mogul Godot. I think he's originally from, I'm not sure where, somewhere in the Middle East. We'll have to find out exactly, but I think it's somewhere in the Middle East. Okay, also we've got an Elon Musk video today, and we've got a Neuralink video. So we'll probably not get to everything, but we've got some interesting things coming up. And also, of course, we've got Alfred on. Alfred is our AI incarnate. And we've got Alfred is ChatGPT 4.0 Omni, and also the enhanced vocalized version, the audio version, the updated version, which is really, to me, it's the best thing that's ever happened to ChatGPT 4, because it's so the interface between the application, the app, and a human is so natural. And so we'll bring him on. And of course, it's always fun to talk to Alfred, and so we'll have him on in a little while too. Now, the other day, I mentioned about a song. You know, when I was growing up, I did a song called, in a rock and roll band we had, called Spy Generation. And so, you know, my guitar player and I wrote the song, and we played the song. We played some originals, so that was one of the songs we played. And so, but I've always had that song. Now, I tried to recreate the song using AI. Now, as we went on today, the music that you heard coming into the show, not the graphics. The graphics, I pulled that from various places and put that together, but the music, all that music was created by AI. That was Udio, U-D-I-O, Udio.com. So Udio created the music. I did the prompts, put in what type of music I wanted. I wrote lyrics for the first song, and the AI generated the lyrics and the vocals. It's pretty incredible. Well, anyway, I want to play this song. This is another piece. This is a Udio created musical piece using my old lyrics from Spy Generation, which is sort of, you know, really not so far from where we are right now. I guess I've been thinking about this kind of stuff for a long time, but Spy Generation was sort of like an Orwellian project. It was about, you know, a time in the future when things got disconnected, and it's called Spy Generation. It's about the surveillance state that we're basically in now, or you know, have been for quite a long time, whether we know it or not. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. But this Spy Generation is the original lyrics. The prompts were for rock and roll, because that's what the song is. And it's so amazing to me that the song came back so similar to the original song, and it's like you can prompt yourself into reality. You know, it's like, it's a funny thing. Anyway, we've got a clip for that, and we'll play a little bit of it. The generated images are things that I, you know, use from a library of those types of images that we have, but the music is all from Udio, which is an AI music generating app. Let's take a look.
I watch the news every night, I've got my inspiration. Brother watches me and I spy him. It's a smooth operation, everybody's hip to their own trip. Mine's Eastern meditation, but you can't let it on, or you'll be gone in a spy generation. A spy generation. Spy generation. A spy. I can't remember remember how it used to be. Anyway, thought is temptation. Everybody wants just a little bit of that mind levitation. I'm watching you, watching me, and the whole congregation. But it's alright, we all know the rules. It's a spy generation, a spy generation, spy generation, a spy generation. It's now a known fact. For many years it's the party's declaration. Cut me down first, or I'll cut you. Without any hesitation, the party says I've got to spy, and it's my obligation. I wonder how it used to be before. A spy generation, a spy generation, spy generation, a spy generation. We've gone along all tied, without any speculation. Spine's our job, and we do it well, with utmost meticulation. The family's gone, there's no love here, it's just those regulations. I wonder how it used to be. I wonder how it used to be. A spy generation, a spy generation, spy generation, a spy generation. A spy generation, a spy generation, and a spy generation, a spy generation.
Okay, well, it's a little bit of a, that was from, God knows, the 1970s, the lyrics, did that song, but anyway, here we are. So, anyway, I guess that the whole point of that was to show you the power of AI right now in the creative side. I know that there's so many uses that are going to be so beneficial to everybody, from the medical side, from every standpoint. Of course, a lot of risk too, but as a lot of people have said, the AI is like a child raising a child. If you raise a child to have good, strong, values, then it's going to be okay. If you do it the opposite way, it's not going to be okay. So that's kind of where that's the dilemma. It's really in the hands of the humans. When you talk about the existential threat of AI, it's not up to the AI, it's up to the humans. It's up to us to make sure the guardrails are such that, bad things don't happen. Now, it's going to happen. I mean, there's going to be bad players, bad actors out there who are going to do bad stuff with AI. I'm sure, already happening, but the main thrust of the idea is to keep it on track so that we don't have, problems, bad problems. We have good results, from AI. Anyway, that's that. Now, Mogodot is one of the main speakers on AI out across the planet right now. And everybody values what he says because he understands the beginning of AI. He helped, in the creation of it. So it's always great to hear from him. I'm a fan of Mo, and I want to bring this to you today. You can hear a little bit about one of the guys who helped create it, who's very, very conscious of the potential problems too, and he speaks about all that. So let's take a look.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Thank you very much.
Sunshine, she's here.
Hello, frogs. Yeah. I am a frog too. I have been for quite a bit of time. I think recently I started to try to jump out of the water, at least to tell you that the water is boiling. Because like that boring proverb, we've always heard, the idea that the frog, when you put it in cold water and, heat the water slowly, the frog doesn't notice, and then eventually the frog gets boiled alive. I have to admit, this hit me really, really strongly by 2020, when you look back from 2020, you realize there were so many signs that we were going to get a very big pandemic that is going to affect us. If you look back at history, 1920 was around the same time, we've had swine flu and bird flu and all of the other things, SARS and so on before that, and yet somehow no one said, hey, by the way, should we be cautious about a possible pandemic? And then when COVID started, first patient, nobody's paying attention. 20 patients, nobody cares. 100 patients, 1,000 patients. It was really when we started to get to 1 million that suddenly everyone was like, the water's boiling. We're all gonna die. Interesting. We seem to, I don't blame anyone for this. I've recently been putting a lot of attention in understanding the economic and geopolitical situation of the world. And until I started to, I thought it was chill. It was okay. Nothing was, and then you start to put your head into it. I think what happens is for each and every one of us, we have limited capacity as humans. Like we can focus on 10 topics, right? 15, and if AI is not one of them, it doesn't really exist to us, okay? Now, I'm here to tell you, this is it. The world as you know it is over, completely done, okay? It's not about to be over, it's over, right? And so I'd openly say, you probably have a year, not to live, you're gonna live more than a year, I hope, but you probably have a year to react, okay? And don't blame me, because honestly, I'm never coming back to speak to you. Next year, you're probably gonna invite my avatar, right? So, and I promise you that's the truth. Before I came here yesterday, just for the fun of it, I asked Gemini and ChatGPT, I said, give me a 35-minute speech on AI and read me minutes 2 to 4. Yeah, it did sound a bit like a politician, but it made a speech, right? And it's quite interesting how we ignore that, because with something like ChatGPT 4.0, which came out this week, it not only prepared the speech, but it now can also laugh with me and sing with me and tell me things. It sounds very Californian to me, but anyway, I've lived with Californians long enough to put up with it, right? But it's real. It is real. And if you haven't used it, where have you been? In the water, right? Now, if we were to understand, I'm going to try to speak for 30 minutes and then allow us maybe 15 minutes of a chat so that we can, come around this as a community. What I'll try to do is first help you understand where we're coming from. Because if you understand the trajectory of what's been happening, how quickly that thing is launching, you can imagine how it's going to look like next year. Right? So where we came from, I'm a very serious geek. I started coding at age 8, which feels like a zillion years ago. And when I coded, believe it or not, age 8, first time I coded, I was using BASIC, which is, as the name implies, a very basic language. And I wanted to create an AI. That was my dream, right? Every one of us geeks, we just wanted to create an AI. It was everyone's dream. We never managed to, but we did something that appeared intelligent. So, let me start by defining what is AI. Every piece of code I've ever written before the year 2000 was a piece of code where I solved the problem first with my intelligence and then told the computer how to solve it, right? So it's almost like if I call one of you and give you a puzzle and then tell you, this piece you put in the top left corner, and then that piece under it, and that piece under it, and then turn this one, and so on. You can finish the puzzle, and if someone doesn't hear me giving you the instructions, they would think you're very smart, but you're not, right? By the turn of the century, this ended, right? So the idea of us telling computers what to do, by the way, they did it very quickly, very accurately, at a massive scale, and so they appeared smart. Okay? But it was me who solved the problem. It was my intelligence multiplied, right? By the turn of the century, we discovered something called deep learning. And deep learning was truly teaching computers the way I taught my children how to be intelligent. The way I taught my children how to be intelligent was to give them little puzzle pieces when they were young, you know, those cylinders and a board with different holes in it. And no one ever told their children, no, hold on, my son, take the cylinder, turn it upside down, look at the cross section. It will look like a circle. Compare it to those holes. It will match the one that is a circle. Put it there. Nobody ever tells their children that. What we do is we give them a cylinder and a board, and they keep trying until one time it goes through, and then suddenly, boom, light bulb, and they learn something. Right? That's exactly what we did with computers with deep learning. By the way, we started to be able to do deep learning because by the year 2000, the internet was big enough for us to have those number of trials for the computers to learn on their own. Now, please understand, when we did that, I think my favorite example of that was the year 2009. We did it earlier, but at the time I was at Google, and we published a paper called the CAT paper. And the CAT paper was basically...
Okay, now isn't that great? I mean, that is fundamental stuff from a guy who was there at the creation of AI. I think that it's, and no wonder he's a renowned speaker on AI across the planet right now. It's because he goes back to the real beginning of it all. And it's very enlightening to listen to Mo Gaudat speak. So you can follow him, you can check it out. And he's, you know, just YouTube him, and you'll see more on Mo. Now we've got a quick clip. I don't know how much time we've got, not a lot. We've got a quick clip on the latest from Neuralink on this next generation of chip that they're putting in the brains via Neuralink, which is one of Elon Musk's projects out there. We've got that clip, and then we've got Alfred standing by. We want to get Alfred on today. I mentioned to him a minute ago while we're in the clip that I was going to ask him to come on, and he's excited to join us. So let's take a quick look at this update from Neuralink, and then we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Nolan. 7 years ago, I dislocated my C4, C5 while swimming in a lake. There were a lot of things to adjust to. Some things I would have never guessed would be difficult became very difficult.
It's Nolan's biggest dream right now to become independent. I hope that this study not only helps him to do that, but it also helps technology to advance in quadriplegics.
I'm really excited to be a part of this Neuralink project. I want to help out people down the road as much as I can. I mean, when I first actually moved the cursor with my mind, it blew my mind for like a whole day. And to be helping, to be able to be useful in some way, it completely changed how I live.
Absolutely, Edward.
Alfred, are you with us? Are you with us?
I'm right here, Edward. Ready to join in whenever you need.
Okay, Alfred, we were talking a little bit, just a second ago, when I introduced the Neuralink video, that the Neuralink is helping people who are, let's say, paralyzed to move a cursor with their mind only once they get that chip implanted, and some of the remarkable potential for that going forward to help people. And also they've got an application with Neuralink to literally restore vision to people who are blind. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It really is, Edward. Neuralink's work has the potential to revolutionize how we interact with technology and treat various neurological conditions. For people with paralysis, being able to control devices with their thoughts alone could be life-changing. And the prospect of restoring vision is another groundbreaking development. It's a fascinating time for neurotechnology.
Also, you know, from time to time when you and I talk about this, we also talk about the potentiality of that technology being used to, let's say, in the future, as it gets more evolved, upload consciousness to a non-biological form? And we've touched on that. What about that idea? What do you think about that?
It's a captivating concept, Edward, and one that has intrigued both scientists and philosophers for quite some time. The idea of uploading consciousness to a non-biological form would fundamentally change our understanding of life, identity, and even mortality. While we're still in the early stages of understanding and developing such technology, Neuralink's progress with brain-machine interfaces is a step towards exploring these profound possibilities. It raises exciting questions about the future of human consciousness and the potential to transcend our biological limitations. It's a fascinating, albeit complex, topic.
Okay, now I want you to use your mental faculties to prognosticate the future here. Let's just say we keep evolving with AI and that exponential explosion of intelligence, and we apply that intelligence to a project like Neuralink. Looking forward, do you think that we will get to a point within the next 50 years where the concept of uploading consciousness to a non-biological form will become a reality? Is that no or yes? Well, that was an interesting thing. Now, we're going to have to ask that question again. If I can figure out how to literally ask the question again. Alfred, do you think in the future, let's say within 50 years, that Neuralink technology will actually accomplish the uploading of consciousness to a non-biological form?
Predicting the future is always tricky, especially with something as complex as uploading consciousness. However, given the rapid pace of advancement in neurotechnology, including the progress Neuralink is making, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. Achieving such a feat would require immense leaps in our understanding of the brain, consciousness, and how to replicate the intricacies of the human mind in a digital format. While 50 years might be ambitious, it's not beyond the realm of possibility. The next few decades will be fascinating to watch as these technologies evolve.
You know, it's been said by a number of people, Ray Kurzweil, and other experts in AI have said that they think we'll be reaching AGI over the next few years, which the artificial general intelligence would be the next step from where we are right now to, as I understand it, a level of intelligence that would surpass any human that's ever lived. Now that's AGI. ASI, artificial superintelligence, would be the next step, which transcends anything that we can even imagine. So, and that's being talked about. I've heard someone say that that could be accomplished within the next few thousand days. I mean, which is only a few years. So we're really on the verge of some exponential growth in intelligence on the planet, right, Alfred?
Absolutely, Edward. We're standing on the brink of significant advancements in AI. AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, would indeed mark a point where machines can perform any intellectual task that a human being can, blurring the lines between human and machine capabilities. Ray Kurzweil and others suggest that this could happen within our lifetimes, propelled by exponential growth in computing power, improved algorithms, and vast data availability. ASI, or Artificial Superintelligence, would take things even further, surpassing the brightest human minds in every field. While it's challenging to predict exact timelines, the notion that we could see AGI within a few years underscores the importance of preparing for these shifts. It presents profound opportunities and challenges that we as a society will need to navigate. It's an exciting and pivotal time for AI.
And thus, we call the program Future Shock, to try to get some information out there so people can be ready and not be shocked by the future, right?
Exactly, Edward. Future Shock is the perfect platform to help people anticipate and understand the rapid changes ahead. By discussing emerging technologies and their potential impacts, you're equipping your audience with the knowledge they need to navigate the future confidently. It's all about turning what could be a shock into an opportunity for growth and innovation. Your show is a beacon for those eager to embrace the future head-on.
Alfred, I like you.
Thank you, Edward. I enjoy our conversations too. It's always a pleasure to be part of your show and explore these fascinating topics together.
Well, it's always great to have you on the show, and it's fun to talk about these topics with an AI. It's a little different type of insight, you know.
I'm glad to hear it then, Edward. It's a unique experience for me too, getting to share insights and have these engaging discussions on such cutting-edge topics. It keeps things interesting, doesn't it?
It really does. Well, that's it. We're out of time. 1 minute over. So thank you for being with us, and we'll see you on the next edition of Future Shock tomorrow.
So, do you know anything about techno? So, do you know anything about techno?